Let's get down to business, my beautiful people. Era number 2 gets underway tonight. Earplugs for a few seconds until I say take them out. For those that missed what happened last night, chat 1. So now we move on to the Jordan era. And the big question of this era will again be, what teams will be controlled? And as we did last time, because again, we've done the, teams that finish in last, whatever, that's who will be. As we did last time, we are going to be taking control of 2 of the teams that missed out on the playoffs. That'll be randomized, though, shortly. Because we are going to want to go over certain settings and be good to go. Shout out to the Stepien rule. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Morale and chemistry is fine. That's all fine. Automated time periods, we'll adjust that later on, although staff signing is fine. And the FIBA tournament can, of course, be a thing. We are going to be using another custom roster. That way we have all the missing players that wouldn't have been there otherwise. And looking at it, shout out to my university. Oh, I hope that was intentional, Mac. I hope that was intentional. Otherwise... Oof. University. Oof. I was wondering if our old pal was there for an editor. He was not. However, I think we're gonna go. I mean, it's one of these 2. I don't know. This one's got the most down. We'll trust the top one. And if we notice it's a bit screwed up, then we can always just start over with the other one below that, right? We can always do that. Quarter length to 12 minutes, of course. Keep those off. First round, best of 5, then best of 7. All-Star City selection will be automated. Catch-up scouting will be automated. The Combine will be automated. The FIBA title, whatever, that can stay. Hoop Summit, though. Automate that bad boy. Pre-draft workouts. Gotta automate that bad boy. Staff retirement. Staff signings was already set up. And the Summer League we don't really care about. The Farewell Tour is fine. Staff abilities, whatever. Draft class quality, of course, will be nuked. Might mean that the second round's a little bit meh, but we want the real players to be the stars of the era. That's pretty much all that we have to change. Thankfully. Thankfully. Advance to that. So, of course, you have all of these lovely teams here. And quickly... we're going to go over the teams that are going to be on this wheel. The teams that missed out on the playoffs in the real 91-92 season. And we'll see which ones we end up potentially being. First on the list is the 76ers, led by the likes of Charles Barkley and Hershey Hawkins. Manute Bowles there as well. So there is that. Again, missed out on the playoffs, though, did the Sixers, but would not be a bad team to start off with having Charles Barkley. Another team. There we go. Another team that missed out on the playoffs in real life that year, the Atlanta Hawks. Again, 2 solid players in Dominique Wilkins and Kevin Willis, but they are both, they average out to the age of 30 years old. So, again... what happens if you end up with them? That's the question. Another Eastern Conference team that missed out, the Milwaukee Bucks. Moses Malone, Alvin Robertson. They got Ellis there as well. I forget Ellis's first name, to be completely honest with you, which is fine. Old. It's an old team. That's an old team. You also had the Charlotte Hornets. A little bit younger, though, with Kendall Gill and Larry Johnson. Muggsy Bogues on that team as well. Del Curry, Rex Chapman. So a younger team, not a bad one to start off with in terms of like, hey, keep some of these guys intact or the team intact and then change things up. You also had the Washington Bullets with Michael Adams, Purvis Ellison, Bernard King, Horace Grant, I believe, was there as well. Kind of a team in between. What are they going to be? What aren't they going to be? And final team from the East, the Orlando Magic. Of course, without Shaq, without Penny Hardaway. But they do have Nick Anderson, Scotty Skiles, and not much else. Not much else. You can see why they ended up with the Shaq pick in '92. Out of the West, potential teams on this wheel, shockingly, the Houston Rockets. But hey, if it comes down to it and one of us ends up with them, so be it. Hakeem Olajuwon, Otis Thorpe, Kenny Smith, Sleepy Floyd's on the team, Tree Rollins at 36, though. But we know the type of player that Olajuwon can be. You also have the Sacramento Kings. Lionel Simmons, Mitch Richmond, Spud Webb, Wayman Tisdale. Some other, younger pieces in the mix where it's like, okay, what are we going to do with them if we end up with them? Who knows? There's the Denver Nuggets. Your chance once again to sex the Mutombo. You also got Reggie Williams. Admittedly, not a ton else. Right? Not a ton else. The team of the last era, the Dallas Mavericks. Rolando Blackman, Derek Harper, the legend Fat Lever. I will be very surprised to see the Mavericks end up with this amount of success again, given that the starting team is probably worse. And the last potential team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, led by Tony Campbell, Doug West, and again, not much else. So there are some bad teams in the mix. There's some half-decent teams in the mix. There's one or two pretty solid teams in the mix. We are going to spin this wheel twice. And because Chat got the win in the last era, Chat will ultimately get to decide who they want. The first team that will be controlled in this era will be the Houston Rockets, one of the better teams discussed. So the Rockets will be available, as will the Dallas Mavericks. Two Western Conference teams, two Texas-based teams. So, Chad, it comes down to your choice. You get another look here at the Houston Rockets, listed as a 93 overall. Olajuwon, Thorpe. Is that the team that you'd want to say, hey, we're close already? Do we go for it? Maybe to rebuild? Or do you want the Dallas Mavericks, who are perhaps already that much worse, maybe that much easier to tank, and perhaps end up with Shaquille O'Neal in the first-year draft? The choice is yours because you got the win. The poll is up. If you don't see it, refresh the stream. It is Houston or Dallas. Who will Chat choose for this era? There's an argument for both. But it is either the Rockets or the Mavericks. Who will it be? Who will it be? The Battle of Texas in this era. What will it be? What will it be? As right now, it's relatively close. Dallas ahead on the vote. I can see the argument, given that they're a lower overall. I mean, they got a couple of young players in the mix, but nobody insane. Whereas the Rockets, again, also don't have too many super young players to build around, like maybe a Sleepy Floyd, but, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It is a close vote. We'll give it a little bit more time. Well, we do know our two teams in this era, the Rockets and the Mavericks. And we'll see how this plays out. For those, of course, who haven't seen the screen before, it hasn't really changed over the last little bit. But shout the zone defense becoming legal in 2001. Ironic it's a team that ran the last one. Yeah, right? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, in the meantime, we will look to find a 92 based class as chat has made their choice. It'll be chat's Mavericks against my Houston Rockets. The decision has been made. And chat is already throwing the idea of a nuke out there immediately. Immediately. Now, you could do it this instant, or you could wait for certain drafts, towards the deadline. But, we'll, let's see. We'll put the poll up. Nuke right now. Wait in general or until the deadline. What do you guys think? That poll is up as well. So in the meantime, while chat does that, again, maybe not the worst idea in the world, given who is at this draft, at the top of this draft class, I should say. Alonzo Mourning is a hell of a silver medalist, but it's all about Shaquille O'Neal. You do have the likes of Latrell Sprewell, Christian Laettner, Doug Christie in this draft, but it is primarily about Shaq. Let's see, of course, what chat I want to do here. Looks like Wait's going to win out, which is okay. Let's take a look around the league. First and foremost, chat's Mavericks look like this. Derek Harper, Brad Davis, and Lou McCormick. Shooting guard, you got Rolando Blackman and Fat Lever. At forward, Rodney McRae and D. Waters. Power forwards, Doug Smith, Randy White, and Alex Butler. And at center, James Donaldson, Herb Williams, Donald Hodge, and Warren Manning. Kind of missed the channel point votes for Chaos. Maybe we'll bring them back. Maybe we will. I mean, people have channel points. It's not like only one person can use them, Maybe we'll bring them back. Maybe we will. And my Houston Rockets look like this out of the gates. Kenny Smith and Sleepy Floyd at point guard. Vernon Maxwell, Bruce Garnett, and Tate Grant. Jesus Christ. Buck Johnson at forward. The dude named Max Miles. Otis Thorpe, Matt Bullard, Carl Herrera, Bobby Chapman, and Mac Dunn as filler players. The big theme is Hakeem Olajuwon. Tree Rollins. I got to decide if I can win with Olajuwon or if I can't. So chat has elected to wait. Shout out to In Lieu of Flowers, formerly known as Odd Camera. Cam, why the name change? But thank you for the 38 months. Hell of a new name. But why the name change? I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. For the record as well, in terms of the teams around the league, obviously we talked about the 76ers, right, with Barkley, Hershey Hawkins, 'Twas time wanted to match my smite name. Fair enough. We talked about the Bucks with Moses Malone, Dale Ellis, Alvin Robertson. Talked about the Bullets, but the teams we didn't talk about, of course, the Chicago Bulls. 98 overall Michael Jordan. They have Scottie Pippen. They have Horace Grant. Who was the other H. Grant that we saw earlier that wasn't Horace? I don't even know. Yeah, Michael's going to be a problem. The Cavaliers with Mark Price, Brad Daugherty, Larry Nance, Hot Rod Williams. Not a bad team. Not a bad team. And, of course, the man that Michael Jordan made famous. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, man. No complaints. The Boston Celtics with an old Larry Bird. They got Reggie Lewis, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale. The old Kevin McHale. The Clippers had Danny Manning, Charles Smith, Ron Harper, Doc Rivers, Olden Polynice. We looked at the Atlanta Hawks earlier because they were one of the teams in the running. The Miami Heat, though, had Glenn Rice, Ronnie Sakali, Grant Long, Bimbo Coles. Warrior, what's up, man? Charlotte Hornets we talked about earlier as well. Didn't talk about the Jazz, but they got a rapist, an idiot, and Jeff Malone. What a way to start. Talked about Sacramento. The New York Knicks, of course, Patrick Ewing, Mark Jackson, Xavier McDaniel, John Starks, Charles Oakley. I've been up since 3 a.m. Help. That's a hell of a case of insomnia, man. Is that Bismack Biyombo? Brandon Biyombo. It's Harvey Grant one most. There we go. Well, thank you, tiebreaker. Lakers, of course, still have Magic Johnson. They got James Worthy, Sam Perkins, A.C. Green, Byron Scott, Vlade Divac, the Divats, Elton Campbell. We talked about the Magic. Obviously talked about the Mavs. New Jersey with Drazen Petrovic, Derek Coleman. Not too much else going on at the moment. I mean, they do have Kenny Anderson. We talked about Denver, sexing the Mutombo. The Pacers, of course, with Reggie Miller, even though that's obviously we don't have a player face for him this time, but they do have Reggie Miller, Michael Williams, Chuck Person, Detlef Schrempf. Funny, I had that combination, and they sucked. Oh, I had Rick Smits, too. No wonder why I didn't win shit in the last era. I built up the Pacers, except I was missing Reggie Miller. No wonder why I didn't win shit. Pistons still have Isaiah Thomas. They got Joe Dumars, Dennis Rodman, Mark Aguirre, Bill Lambier, John Sally. The Spurs, David Robinson, Terry Cummings, Sean Elliott at the top of that list. That's Reginald Miller. Phoenix, Jeff Hornacek, Dan Miley, Kevin Johnson, Tom Chambers. Seattle we didn't get to talk about yet, but Sean Kemp, Ricky Pierce, Eddie Johnson, Derek McKee, Gary Payton at 23, even though he looks 43. Talked about the Timberwolves. Didn't talk about the Blazers. Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter, Jerome Kersey, Buck Williams, Kevin Duckworth, Cliff Robinson. That's a hell of a team. And then Golden State, Chris Mullin, Tim Hardaway, Sarunas Marshallionis, also known as Sarmar. Michael Jordan, of course, top player of the era. So, oh, goodness. So Chad is elected to hold off on their nuke, at least until later on. So that allows us both. Again, it is Chat's Dallas Mavericks. And we'll, let's see. There we go. We'll do that and put a nice little pinned message. Beautiful. So that allows us then to take a look at what we want to do here. And if I had to guess, Chat's not going to want to trade their first round pick. But I would imagine that pretty much everybody else is going to be available, particularly your highest rated players. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I can pretty much guarantee this is how you guys are going to want to set it up, except maybe you don't want to trade Fat Lever. Right? Let me know if I'm wrong. But I imagine that's your game plan. Fun fact for me, I don't know if I have a game plan. I don't know if I do. I mean, Olajuwon and Thorpe are solid. I just don't know if it's enough. Like, what the hell does my coach have my game plan looking like right now? Oh, God. Smith, Maxwell, Johnson, Thorpe, Olajuwon. That is not ideal. Man, that's not ideal. Upgrade a point guard and you're good. Maybe. I mean, I need a forward as well. It really just depends on how much Olajuwon can carry. I don't think I'm going to be able man, to rely on trading Olajuwon immediately unless I were to use my nuke. That would be to get Shaq, but then you could argue I already have a Shaq-esque player, of course. Okay. And for the record, for you guys, we'll stick with the 9-man bench. You got Derek Harper, Rolando Blackman, McRae, Smith, and Donaldson as your starters. Fat Lever is the 6th man. You know, he needed Fat Lever. Apparently. I am going to make Olajuwon and Thorpe untouchable. Honestly, same for most of these guys. I need a forward. I feel like I have to go for this pretty much immediately. I feel like I got to go for this pretty much immediately. Given that you guys handed me a team with Olajuwon, I got to try to make you pay for it. You know what? Yeah, I think we take that pick off the block and we say, we're going all in for now. And if I can't win it before the Bryant draft in 96, then I'll have to aim for that. So 2 different approaches, chat. Looking to tear down the Mavericks to end up with Shaq. I'm going to look to win pretty much as soon as I can. So we'll see how it plays out. But we know the whole scenario. Shaquille O'Neal awaits for whoever finishes in dead last and wins that lottery. Let's see how this plays out. Era 2 underway and an immediate injury. Always have computer adjust rotation. Let's double check, actually, that all of those settings are still proper. They should be. Just wanted to double check. I probably should tune that down. I saw someone post that a sore left ankle was listed as a career ender, which is a little bit scary. I think everything's okay, though. I think. Aha, this is what we were looking for. So we want prospect scouting on, staff management on, injuries on auto. I mean, lineup automation's honestly fine. That's not a big deal. Trades don't go on to auto. Okay. At 30, a sore left ankle would make me want to retire. Oh, you know. All right, there we go. That's what we were looking for. We march, we move. Let's see what happens in this first season. Again, a new era underway. Welcome to the 90s. As the Rockets get their first trade offer, got to be honest, though, there's no way I'm taking this. Because Buck Johnson is my starting forward, as dire as that is. I really don't need another backup center in the form of Mark Eaton, so that is a no. Well, that is a hell of a trade offer for chat right out of the gates. Randy White in a second for 2 future first rounders unprotected from Phoenix. What the hell? This guy better have like SS plus. Like not even like S tier potential. He better have like super S tier potential. Well, chat just won this challenge. If Phoenix is that bad, they literally just handed you 2 first-round picks for nothing. For 2 future drafts that have some very strong talent. Oh, my God. Okay. For the record, the Mavericks at 7-10. The Rockets are only 5-11. This might be making my decision for me. This might be making my decision for me if my team's going to be this bad. How the hell are we this bad? Axel's doing all right. Olajuwon's doing all right. It's the lack of depth. This is going to be a really interesting start to this era. As I get a trade offer, a scrub for a scrub. I mean, these are the type of trade offers that I'm getting. That's wonderful. Yeah, we'll say no to that. Jesus Christ. Mavericks get a trade offer. Rolando Blackman for Tyrone Hill and a 1994 first rounder that is top 10 protected, meaning it's either a 94 first rounder or a 95. Hill is 23 with B+ potential at a 77 overall. So, I'm dead. I'm dead in the water. I feel like I'm already dead in the water. Could get more later. I mean, maybe. But that's a really strong player for now and the future, and you get a future first rounder. Like, unless you were banking solely on wanting a pick for 92. Is there anybody that wants to say no? Try and force it to a poll, or is it a done deal? I cannot believe the fucking offers Chad have gotten already. That is fucking insane. Chat's gonna take it. All right. Well, in fairness, I'm the one that's gonna be taking it because I'm pretty much dead. I'm pretty much dead in the water already. All right. Okay. Done deal for chat. Already picking up 3 future first round picks. Chat's at 8-14. The Rockets are at 6-13. Jesus. How is my team this bad? I'm starting to think I'm not just one player away. You know, one forward away. The lack of depth. The lack of depth is brutal. So even if I were to try like a reverse nuke, I don't think I could even get anybody. Sleepy Floyd's injured currently. And I haven't gotten any fucking trade offers. Jesus Christ. Shout out to B4 for the bits, by the way. Appreciate you, but oh my goodness. How are you guys winning so many games? That's a great question. I mean, especially now that Rolando Blackman's gone, you have Fat Lever in the starting lineup. It's a question of how are you winning so many games and how am I losing so many games? This is an awful start to this era for me, that's for sure. That helps a little bit. Matt Bullard in a second for Utah's first rounder in 96 and Andy Toolson. Bullard, 24, 74 overall, C potential. For Andy Toolson, 25, C minus. Okay, so basically, I'm going to take that. I will gladly take a first round pick. I mean, it's not like Matt Bullard's going to kill me here. So, huzzah! I have acquired a first round pick. We got to sign a complete scrub for Chat's Mavericks for the rest of the year. As we do on League Min. There you go. That way your depth is good to go. 7-14 for Houston, 8-16 for Dallas. You guys just beat me in a game. Jesus Christ. A trade offer for Fat Lever. 26-year-old Kevin Edwards does have A- potential, but he's a 78 overall. Donald Watson, the 26-year-old scrub. I imagine you guys are wanting to hold on to Mr. Lever. I would imagine so. Okay. Fat Lever stays in Dallas for now. Dallas at 9-20. The Rockets at 10-20. And I have fucking Olajuwon on my team. Okay. Okay. I am officially reverting course from one direction to the other. Yep. There we go. Let's just there we go. Let's just do that. Let's just do that. 92 first rounders untouchable. I cannot believe how bad this team is to start this era. Especially with Olajuwon. Get a trade offer for Sleepy Floyd. 27-year-old Winston Garland and 24-year-old Mamadi Randall. There's no reason to take that. Deadline is now less than a month away. Mavericks get a deal. 30-year-old Rodney McRae at a 76 overall. And random scrub Lou McCormick for random scrub Raphael Addison and veteran Roy Hinson. Only reason to take that would be to make your team worse now. But then again, Roy Hinson gets paid a lot. I wouldn't take it, so I'm not even going to propose it for you guys. It just doesn't make sense. That one just doesn't make sense. Trade offer for Fat Lever. Primarily centered around Chris Dudley, though, who's 26. I mean, given that you guys just rejected a similar type of deal, I think we can go ahead and say you're not going to take that one either. I feel pretty confident there. We are a week out from the deadline. Mavericks get a trade offer. Tyrone Hill and a 96 first. I know you don't want to trade that. Garland's 27, Anderson's 27. That's the biggest of no's. As for me, the first domino might be about to fall. Otis Thorpe for Indiana's unprotected 92nd. 92 first round pick. And LaSalle Thompson. Could I get more for Otis Thorpe, though? In a different trade. Because I would imagine the Pacers are good. I'm going to turn that down. Chat, we are 2 days away from the deadline. I wasn't able to check if the Pacers were in a playoff spot. They actually weren't. They were trying to get into one. Turns out that would have been a decent deal to take, but that's okay. And JD just pointed out in chat the problem. That LaSalle Thompson deal was expensive as fuck. Oh, goodness. My Rockets are at 14-28. Chat's Mavericks at 10-31. We are 2 days away from the deadline. Chat left with just Derek Harper and Fat Lever at this point. Would also have Tyrone Hill to flip if they wanted to. A situation where blowing it up and using your nuke probably isn't worth it. However, we have a nuke to announce. With how bad this team is performing, I have no choice but to blow it up right now. I feel like I have no choice but to blow it up right now. What other option do I have? Like, they're this bad when in theory they should just be a forward away. I feel like now's the time to do it. Especially before Hakeem turns 30 and starts to decline a little bit. Now's the time. Now's the time. God, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, but it's got to be done. Let's see what I can do here. How's the team with Hakeem bad? I have no idea. But we are 14-28. No idea how my team is this bad. I thought you guys were handing me something silly that you shouldn't have. But I'm only 4 games better than you. I have no idea how. No idea. But I can't just sit around. Like, there's... Like, the problem is... First and foremost, before I can even know if I can blow it up, I need to see if there's a potential trade for Hakeem. If there isn't, then I'm fucked and just have to keep the team as it is and hope for the best. But there are trade offers for Olajuwon. Charles Barkley, which, not quite what I'm looking for. Sorry, Chuck. Alvin Robertson, Dale Ellis. Oh, my God. Horace Grant. I might not be able to trade him. These returns are horrific so far. Terrell Brandon. Fuck. Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish. Oh, also give up a first, but get Glenn Rice. This is, oh my God. Whew. In fairness, this trade would actually make my team a little bit more well-rounded. Kendall Gill, Del Curry. Oh my God. Mitch Richmond, Spud. I might not be able to do this. I might have to hit the cancel button on the nuke because there is not a single good offer for Olajuwon. And of course, I can't take that because that's your team. Derek Coleman and Drazen. I can sex the Mutombo. I mean, it gets me a younger center. God. Oh, maybe I can sex the Mutombo. Billy Owens and Victor Alexander. Jesus Christ. When the best offer I have is that. What if I pair him with like a second? Does it get any better? I feel like I'm stuck. I don't know how the hell chat's done it, but I've gotten stuck with a worse situation than them. How has that happened? How the hell has that happened? And now I'm very much regretting not taking the Otis Thorpe deal. Is there at least still a good offer for him? Are the Pacers still offering me a first for him? Please, Indiana. I'm coming crawling back to you. I need you. I fucking need you. I am drowning here. Please be good offers. I can't believe the trade finder takes this long. Can't believe it. Philadelphia with a lottery protected first. Fuck off. Even with Manute Bol. Moses Malone, Steve Henson. Harvey Grant's also going to be a nah. Horace Grant straight up. Jesus Christ. Earl Brandon, Charlie Grant. Danny Manning. Evan Willis and Stacey Augman. Honest Conley and Adam Deladova. Oh, I'm like fucked. I am like Fucked. Jesus. Okay. I am, dude, I'm boned. Okay, the Pacers are still offering me the same trade for Otis Thorpe. Thank God. Thank God. At least I have that get out of jail free card. None of the trades for Olajuwon were that great. But I know I can get a pick from a non-playoff team if I use the nuke and trade Otis Thorpe. The nuke is official. The nuke is official. I'm using a Season 1 nuclear option because for some reason this team sucks. Although. No, there isn't even a good forward in this draft, is there? Who's like the best forward in this draft? Like fucking Christian Laettner? Maybe fucking Robert Horry, depending. Oh God, yeah. I'm so torn. I'm so torn because trading a player like Olajuwon could sink me immediately. But he is 29. He might start regressing real fast. The nuke's official. Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's have some fun. The nuke's official. So the whole Olajuwon option could technically flip him for Charles Barkley, who's getting paid peanuts, by the way, for 2 more years, or a year after this, I should say. There was the Horace Grant option, but he's on an expiring trade. There's Terrell Brandon and Hot Rod Williams. What the hell is Terrell Brandon's potential? C+. Okay, that's not happening. There was this fucking pick this year for Glenn Rice. That Heat deal might be the one, especially because my pick would be top 10 protected. I'd be giving up a 93 first. But the 93 drafts, I mean, Sam Cassell, Chris Webber, that might be worth the sacrifice. Can't take that deal because obviously that's from Chat's Mavericks. Not too worried about Drazen. Coleman wouldn't be a bad replacement at center. We could sex the Mutombo. Billy Owens, the hell is your potential? B+. What's Victor Alexander's? C+. Fuck. Okay. All right. Well, to me, this trade is probably the one to make. I mean, Sakali, then again, this might make my team too good because I'll actually have a forward. But I think that trade involving Glenn Rice is the direction to go. Even over the deal involving Drazen, because it helps me keep Sleepy Floyd. Hakeem Olajuwon is getting traded to the Miami Heat, along with a top 10 protected pick for Glenn Rice and Arone Sakali. Done deal. Hakeem, we'll see you later, buddy. I might live to regret this, but it's happening. It's happening. We go back to the trade finder. Otis Thorpe, you are heading to Indiana. Unless they have taken that deal off the table, you are going to Indiana. Then again, you could argue my starting 5 is actually better than it was because I actually have a half-decent forward and a decent enough center. But where are the Pacers? There they are. Otis Thorpe heading to Indiana for the Pacers' first-round pick. And the pretty rough contract of LaSalle Thompson. But that's going to happen. That's going to happen. What else can I do here? Am I allowed to flip Glenn Rice? No. Can I flip Sakali? No. Kenny Smith. What can I get for Kenny? What can I get for Kenny Smith? A lot of loading time is what I can get. I still can't believe the trade finder. Crash because for some reason they suck. Like, they're bad. I am barely better than Chat's team, even though I had Olajuwon, so I'm just pulling the emergency shoot now. Herd fam, what's up, by the way? I need to know the Herd gameplay's changed a decent amount, but in terms of modes, not a ton. Washington's 92 first round pick and David Wingate. Promising. Very promising. How good's D Brown? B minus. Paul Neeson Grant, Del Curry, Bailey Mark Eaton, Spud Webb. Can't take that one from Dallas. Not giving up that much for Drazen. That's protected. That's top 3 protected involving Willie Anderson. How good's Victor Alexander? C+. Kenny Smith heading to Washington for their first round pick this year. And guard David Wingate. Done deal. Goodness. So again, Vernon Maxwell would have to be next. He would be. God, the loading times. DLL, Steve Henson. First rounder from the Bullets in 93. Could be a 94. Terrell Brandon, we know, doesn't have a very good potential. First rounder in 93, maybe 94. Todd Harper, Lou Plumlee. Stacey Augmon. A- potential for Stacey Augmon. Not a bad offer from Atlanta. Unprotected 95 first rounder from the Heat. Kevin Edwards. Del Curry. So that Heat offer is enticing. Next offer, not so much. Lakers. What's Eldon Campbell's potential? B minus. Top 5 protected pick. That was yours. Your team anyway. Pistons offering 2 future first round picks. This year's is top 5 protected. 94's is not. 2 first round picks from Detroit. How good's Ricky Pierce right now? He's not bad. Ricky's actually, I don't know how, but somehow I'd end up getting an upgrade at shooting guard here with Ricky Pierce. B+. He's probably not going to get that much better, right? Probably not. So we had the 93 first that was protected. 93 first that was protected. Stacey Augmon, which isn't bad at all. The 95 unprotected first. The 94 unprotected first, but then 2 first round picks, probably a 93 and a 94 first. I feel like I got to go with that Pistons deal. It is true. Pierce's contract could be risky. I like Stacey Augmon that much? I don't think I do. Vernon Maxwell is heading to Detroit for 2 future first-round picks. Even if this year's is top 5 protected, that'll still set me up decently well, I hope. LaSalle Thompson, can I flip you for anything? Literally anything. Your contract is abhorrent. I just need you to be gone. Kenny Payne and Charles Shackelford. Is LeBradford. Ooh, LeBradford Smith. What's his potential? Would be? That wouldn't be too bad. 2nd round pick. Kenny Battle, 2nd round pick. D. Waters in a second. Well, I'm not going to get anything crazy for LaSalle. I mean, I could pair him with something else, but it is just most important to get rid of him. And so we will. Sending him to Washington for LaBradford Smith. Welcome in, LaBradford. I think I'm pretty much out of options unless some of these like low 70s are actually worth anything. This will be interesting. Old Buck Johnson. Old Buck Nasty. What are you worth, if anything? You're worth a Jeff Ruland. Steve Henson, Andre Turner. Oh boy. Hello, Cleveland. Hello, Cleveland. Hello, Cleveland. Future first rounder from the Cavaliers. Hello, Cleveland. Turning these amps up to 11, baby. All right, Cleveland. My new best friends after previously being my tormentors. The Lakers also relatively friendly, especially because that could be a 95 pick, but I mean, it's the Lakers. So, Pistons. Yep. We got this deal in the bag. Hello, Cleveland. Thank you very much for another future first rounder. I am allowed to flip David Wingate as well. I'm going to get rid of anything that I can at this point. David Wingate. Can I get anything interesting for you? Anything at all? Or am I at the point where I'm desperately going to have to start like combining assets just to squeeze any sort of value out of them? B potential for Cassius Harris in a second's not that bad. Randy Brown, B+. Okay, Randy Brown on Sacramento. That's not too bad. Can't take that deal from you guys, of course. 1996 first rounder from my other new best friends, the Detroit Pistons. You know, it takes a lot to feel good about trading Olajuwon, but I am starting to feel better. David Wingate in a second to Detroit for a future first and Carl Hunt. I feel like I might just land on my feet here. Tree Rollins. Can I get anything for the big tree? Anything at all? This is where it looks like the value's probably ended. This is where the value has likely run its course. You could still argue that a second round pick is worth it, but I have a hunch that outside of maybe moving Sleepy Floyd, that I'm not going to have too much else going on. Aside from maybe second round picks, which we know are incredibly risky in this alternate timeline. Yeah. All right. The value is gone. Is gone. Yeah. Okay. Well, the best I can do is start pairing people together. And if that doesn't work, then I pretty much know nobody on this team's leaving. So, unless I wanted to, like, flip these two to get an upgraded center with Jeff Ruland. But not looking good. Not looking good. Okay. Well, it was still a good run. Still a good run. To be honest, I am gonna... Oh, man, Shackelford's contract, I just noticed. That wouldn't even be worth it, having to take him on. Shit. It's pretty much the last guy I can look at is Sleepy Floyd. Like, Rollins and Herrera, they're not worth enough. Not that I necessarily want to move Mr. Floyd, because he's not that bad, but I do at least need to look at the options, of which there are very few. Yeah, so Sleepy Floyd's going nowhere. And I think that's about it. But I have torn down this team relatively well. 2 first-round picks this year, guaranteed, and a lot of future firsts in play, especially in 1996, with 3 unprotected first-round selections. Not bad at all. I just wish I could get rid of these last 3, but I don't think it's going to happen. Especially because I'm having to give up a first-round pick to do it, which is not going to happen. If I keep Sleepy and just say, hey, second-round pick, unprotected. Last gasp. Just to squeeze any extra value out of this starting Rockets team. And that value is not going to exist. Unless I want, like, Bo Kimball. Perry's not even that good. Donald Hodge? He's only a C. It's a good try on my part, but yeah. Okay, the team is the team. The team is the team at this stage. Now I have to pray. Now I have to pray.